touch. In the golden sunlight, she was born to love. Kiss our tears away, vanish all our fears, fill the world with joy. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering. Whoa, 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 whoa. See her loving glow in a blood.
Maradyaw na gabi, magandang gabi, maayong gabi, good evening everyone, especially to our live viewers from the Philippines and from all around the world. Welcome to another Earth Talk, and tonight we'll be talking about the pandemic, cause, effect, suggested solution, embracing the new normal. As we learn about the new normal, we encourage our live viewers to drop your questions on the comment section down below during the discussion, and us girls will be answering your queries through our daily echo video activities for the following days. Let's start off with Miss MABINI, Davao de Oro, and Miss MALOLOS Bulacan to talk about the background on the environment and where we're currently in this pandemic.
So thank you, Ms. CLAVER. And now we're discussing a short background about the environment and its importance. So everything present around us is our environment, our life, as well as the animals, are entirely dependent on the benefits that provided by the environment. As a matter of fact, the human fingerprint has significantly seen on the global atmosphere, the world oceans, and the land of all continents. So for years, it nourishes us with food, shelter, air that fulfill our daily needs in life. Also, the air that we continuously breathe to live, and the water that we frequent drink. Also, it maintains the ecological balance and various cycles that will keep check life on Earth. In addition, the entire life support of humans depends wholly on the environmental factors, and it is interconnected with every component present in our surroundings. Above all, our environment is a source of natural beauty as well as requirement for preserving physical and mental health. On the eve of the new millennium, it is abundantly obvious that people are causing global environmental changes. Both science and government have changed their aims, priorities, and processes as a result of this realization. So, as we embrace the new normal, the changes is still present and continuously rising, but we should not neglect the status of our environment and respond to the shockwaves it brings.
I definitely agree, Miss Mabini. And breaking the distance was definitely not easy, especially in our environment. Plus the factor that we are experiencing the pandemic right now. First of all, the big issue today that totally changed our life, as we all know, is the COVID-19, which spreads easily among people and more continues to be discovered over time about how it spreads. Data has shown that it spreads mainly from person to person among those in close contact. The virus spreads by respiratory droplets released when someone with the virus coughs, sneezes, breathes, or talks. These droplets can be inhaled or land in the mouth, nose, or eyes of a person nearby. Due to this, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic is drastically changing the lives of people. Schools and universities have closed, Exam and events are postponed. The usual health information services are limited. Socializing with friends and wider family is highly discouraged and in some places, even punishable. Thus, it is such a big plot twist of our lives, and we have identified pandemic-related distress responses such as the danger and contamination fear in our environment which we live in, socioeconomic concern as it closes doors of opportunities to the livelihood of the people, traumatic stress, which is the excessive fear of the people due to this unwanted situation, and compulsive checking that became limited nowadays due to our lack of health resources and facilities, which issue that we must not neglect but focus our attention to. Aside from that, the Philippines are facing other issues even in the midst of the pandemic, such as it is prone to natural disasters, particularly in typhoons, floods, landslide, and earthquakes. We also suffer major human-caused environmental degradation by a high annual population growth rate, including loss of deforestation, and which is also affected because of the pandemic lockdown. Can you just imagine how big the scope of environment plays in our lives? Even us people, we are part of it. Thus, let us focus on how to know our stand in this matter so that we can take up solutions. That's why me, together with our group, came up to the solution that we wanted to impart to all of you. A goal that is not fighting the old, but building a new with courage and bravery. And that is to prepare and embrace for the new normal. Please watch our video presentation.
UNESCO is exploring how knowledge and learning can shape the future of humanity and the planet. Let's envision the futures of education. With the COVID-19 lockdowns and restrictions, we've seen that it's possible to radically shift the ways we live. People are adjusting to new realities. As we return to working, learning, and living more closely together, let's learn from this experience. In many places, we've seen cleaner air and realized that our ways of living involve real trade-offs. We've realized the extent of our vulnerabilities. The crisis is affecting people's lives and livelihoods differently, exposing the study of inequalities. For students, teachers, and humanity, this is an important opportunity to understand that what we have considered normal is not inevitable, but is a choice, a result of our choices. What are we learning from the coronavirus disruptions? What needs to be different than before?
Old normal is so awesome. You can study, learn, and most especially, enjoy with your family and friends face to face.
Listen to her voice, singing in the wind. Feel her gentle touch in the golden sunlight. She was born to love, kiss our tears away, vanish all our fears, fill the world with joy.
Embracing the new normal comes in embracing the safety protocols such as the protective measure in regular sanitation by the use of alcohol and wearing face masks all the time.
Making miracles
Keep safe.
loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering.
Educational learning is important for everyone and it should be continued regardless of difficulties in life. With the COVID-19 pandemic that we are currently dealing with, the new mode of learning via online classes is the safest approach for us to complete our studies. Nonetheless, we still hope to return to a safe, traditional face-to-face classes after this pandemic.
She will teach her child every golden story. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering.
Thank you very much, Miss Mabini and Miss Malolos Bulacan. And to learn more on how embracing the new normal works, let's hear it from Miss NAIC CAVITE, Miss MARIBOJOC BOHOL, Miss Silay Negras Occidental, and Miss Santo Domingo Albay.
Thank you so much, Ms. Clover. So as we are facing this pandemic, following safety protocols is very important. It might be a simple thing that we can do, but this can make a big help to our frontliners and will control the number of COVID positive here in our country. So here are some ways to reduce your risk of COVID-19. First one is clean your hands often or use alcohol. Second one is cough or sneeze in your bent elbow, not your hands. And if it's not necessary, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. And this one is one of the most important. Limit social gatherings and time spent in crowded places. And if you know someone who is sick, avoid contact with them. And lastly, always clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. As we are embracing the new normal, face mask is just like clothes that we need to wear every time we go outside. So here are the proper ways to use face masks. Before picking an unused mask, clean hands with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer or with soap and water. Pick up the mask and inspect for tears or holes. Orient yourself with the top side where the metal strip is. Identify the proper side of mask facing outside the colored side. Place the mask to your face, pinch the metal strip and mold it to your nose and face. Lastly, pull down the mask bottom so it covers your mouth and chin. Always remember that if it's not necessary, do not go outside. It is very important to stay at home. And if you have to step out of the house, you need to wear a community face mask. And a gentle reminder to everyone, face masks can cause difficulty in breathing, especially to those people with chronic respiratory diseases or may already have breathing difficulties, and for those children 2 years old and below. So, as a part of our nation, let us do follow and safety protocols. Thank you.
I very much agree with that, Miss. Okay, so I will be now discussing about how the pandemic affected us and how we should turn the challenges into opportunities. So the pandemic has greatly affected us people. However, I believe in the saying that when a door closes, I believe that another one will open for us. Tonight, I will be discussing 3 tips in order to help overcome our challenges and turn them into opportunities. First, we should change our outlook. Everything we do is linked into our mindset, and our mindset is our most powerful tool. However, it can be the source of our obstacles. Change starts within ourselves, just like how positivity will start within ourselves. We should start looking at the brighter side of things and be a catalyst of positivity in order to invite positivity into our lives. Second, we should learn to invest our time on the right things. The pandemic has given us more time to ourselves. And since most of our tourist destinations were temporarily closed because of the temporary close for visitations, our municipality has decided to focus more and give emphasis on the alternative income generating products that can help promote my town's economy. As for us, the normal people, I believe that we should spend more time with ourselves. I, for one, invested my time in learning new hobbies like meditation, learning how to play new instruments, and gardening. That way, we can be more productive amidst the pandemic. The third tip, we should be open and ready to accept new opportunities that come in our way. Just because we are in a pandemic doesn't mean that we have to stop everything that we are doing. We never know, an opportunity might come our way. Or better, we can find an opportunity that has been under our nose the whole time that we didn't notice before. Either way, we should always be ready to challenge ourselves and take up these opportunities. So that ends my discussion on turning challenges into opportunities, and I'll be leaving everyone with a quote that goes, "We should always see challenges through the eyes of positivity." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss. Now let's move on to the crucial role of human resources. With the onset of COVID-19, it is undeniable that this pandemic has created adverse effects to us humans, as well as to our economy. Normal time has already been history. In order to survive, we need to embrace the present culture of normal times. Philippine Statistics Authority reported unemployment of 4.2 million Filipinos in February this year. Worldwide, 200 million as of June 2021, according to the United Nations. Thus, HR plays a significant role in setting priorities to employees to adapt to the new normal. Survey shows that the following approaches or work strategies are helpful to employees at times of lockdown and pandemic. First is mobilization. Prepare employees to work remotely. Flexibility to work from home. Second is focus on digitization of people management processes and data. HR will ensure that employees stay engaged, motivated, yet will the flow of business is managed effectively, even in remote setup. Third is to build a future-ready workforce. The flow of business is being managed effectively. Fourth, leadership training. Continuous leadership training should be focused on effective leadership. And fifth is health and wellness, which also relates to aspects of health like physical and mental health. We also focus on the human experience, as well as we don't want to lose emotional or personal connection. There's nothing like everyone participating in a particular discussion. Indeed, health is so important. A healthy individual is connected to a healthy economy. So these are some of the solutions or strategies that can help organizations and employees navigate through the current crisis. In conclusion, employees and employers should establish a harmonious relationship in order to survive and work effectively while observing health protocols. At the end of the day, nothing is more important than the health of both individuals and the society. Let me end with the quotes, "Accept change is a fact of life. Focus on what you can change rather than on what you can't. And choose to be grateful anyway."
Thank you so much, Miss Telay. And I totally agree. Let's embrace the new normal because it's not really that bad, isn't it? Well, let us now welcome our audiences to our solution 4, which is breaking the distance. Of course, welcome to the visual world. Right now, of course, we already have new technologies that is serving us to keep us connected. And now we are going to
enumerate the 3 steps that we can do to enjoy to how we actually stay connected, even though we keep ourselves safe at home. The first one is make some video calls. We already have so many social media platforms, Facebook, Zoom, and you know what? The pandemic is not just a sad season. It is a season where we appreciate the simple highs, hellos, how are you? And you know what? It really boosts our um relationship with other people when we just do this little gestures because we appreciate it, right? And another one is enjoy real life activities gone virtual. First one is, of course, do your Zumba virtually, do your socialization virtually. And of course, I actually have done this. I had this party online through Zoom with my office mates, and it is fun. So you should try it, guys. And of course, the third one, play online games. Well, we already have so many online games, and I already have so many of it in my phone and, of course, in my laptop. Do virtual activities online, be social online, because it's not really that bad. It's actually a new normal that we should embrace because, well, it may be sad that we would not be back with the old normal or the things that we used to have, the norms that we used to embrace. But of course, this new normal is bringing us to a new diversion, a new vantage point that is actually very pretty to look at. If you would just be very optimistic that things would be better sooner or later. So I hope everyone would be just this vibrant or very welcoming on what we are going to have in the very near future. This pandemic has forced us to isolate, has separated us from the things that we used to love, that we used to do, but we can't allow it to keep us disconnected. So, of course, everyone, welcome to the visual world.
Thank you so much, Miss NAIC CAVITE, Miss MARIBOJOC BOHOL, Miss Silay Negros Occidental, and Miss Santo Domingo Albay. Now, with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, we often hear people say, how I wish we'd go back to normal, but should we really go back to the old normal or get ahead and move forward with a new normal? Let's get into this one and move forward together with Miss Anda Bohol and Miss Diga City to dig deeper into the pros, cons, and opportunities in the new normal era.
Thank you so much, Miss Claver, for that very wonderful introduction. And maadjong gabi sa inyong tanan. I am Irish Alandria Delima, your Eco-Delegate from Anda Bohol. And now moving forward to the pros and cons of embracing the so-called new normal. We all know that new normal has brought a lot of changes to our world today. Not only it has affected our daily routine, our emotional and our social life, it has also greatly affected our environment. And now let me introduce to you the cons or the disadvantages of embracing the new normal. First on the list is the nefarious effects of sedentarism. For the past few months, honestly, I have been one of the persons who have been practicing sedentary living, adopting to the new setup or the new normal really makes me lazy, and should I say crazy at the same time, because imagine you just go out and then you sleep, you eat, you sleep again, and you take it back. The activities are keep on repeating, and it's so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy and alarming at the same time. Phone screens and monitors are the only views that I have, and good thing that I was able to realize that what I've been doing isn't healthy. And yes, it's very important that we also think that we have to exercise and discipline ourselves, or else we will suffer the consequences. And the second one is the less social life. Same thing with what I have said lately. Due to a lot of limitations, socializing has been made even harder. Nothing is more fulfilling and intimate when you get to know or meet your friends and loved ones from a distant place physically. And third one is the space matters. Unlike before, where you could easily sit beside your crush with a 0.005-inch space, that's totally different right now because we are all required to distance ourselves from other people for about 1 to 2 meters. And we all know how important space is because it signifies the closeness of the group of people. But because of the idea that rule is a rule, law is a law, we don't have any choice but to follow, but to become a law abider, because at the end of the day, we are doing this for our safety. And the fourth one is isolation. For some, isolation is definitely a bad thing, most especially if you are used to surrounding yourself with a lot of people. If you are to picture out the feeling of isolation, to some, it is like putting yourself inside an empty, unlighted box with with walls closed. And according to research, this is a time when range from loneliness to anxiety, depression, and burnout can possibly happen. And it's very alarming at the same time. Fifth is public transportation about to get worse. Probably a self-explanatory topic, and I know that a lot of people out there could really relate to this problem. Because without efficient public transportation systems, the urban landscape becomes more difficult to navigate. Sixth is the filter bubbles and echo chambers. Bubbles means it established an informational barrier around people, preventing them to perceiving competing perspectives, giving the appearance that our limited self-interest is all that exists. And on the other hand, we have the echo chambers. Echo chambers, which is a setting in which a person is solely exposed to information or ideas that reflect and reinforce their own. And last but not the least is the roadblocks in career development. We all know that social skills are crucial in job development, and being able to demonstrate them as expected might stall professional advancement in a variety of situations. Hence, jobs that really rely on social contact are suffering greatly. And without interaction, there is no potential for advancement. And I think that's it for my topic for tonight. And let me end up my report by saying that only when normal things are not normal anymore do we realize how special normal things are. This is Irish Alandria Delima, your Eco-Delegate from BOHOL.
Hi, so maayong gabi kaninyang tanan. I am Irish Ebuen, your Miss Philippines Earth from DIGOS City. So I will be talking about the positives in embracing the new normal. Well, while global events such as the ongoing pandemic bring a level of uncertainty and difficulty to millions, these events often end up becoming a springboard for new and better opportunities. In fact, I have listed 6 positives in emerging from this current scenario. Well, first is carving out time to focus on important things. Well, before pandemic, our routine life is usually hectic and leaves a little time for ourselves and our family. Personal and academic engagements leads to a lot of late nights and long hours, which can end up taking a toll on our mental health. Well, events like lockdowns acts like a reset button where it pushes us in reflecting on what really matters. So focusing on our loved ones and engaging in activities which are meaningful for us can help us recharge our physical and mental health. Second is getting creative with our finances. Well, most of us indulge in retail therapy and consumerism far more than we like to think about it. We buy things, we spend so much on retails, shoppings, and sales when before pandemic. Well, when lockdown happened, it motivates us to avoid frivolous spending and be prudent with our finances, which is of course beneficial for us in the long run. Third is it motivates a growing community. Well, unfavorable circumstances often rouse the feeling of community community within us. It is heartening to listen to the stories of strangers helping other people, neighbors helping their neighbors, and especially our frontliners who go out of their way to look after us. Well, this new normal reminds us that we human are social creatures. We can survive in any scenario by being there for each other. We can use this time as an opportunity to be helpful for others and, of course, improve our networking skills. Fourth is a better family time. Well, pausing our hectic schedules can also allow us the time and opportunity to be with our family. Well, in fact, social scientists gathers data that indicate that people are spending more time with their family now more than before because of these lockdowns. And the opportunity of working from home and enrolling in online classes, we can use this time as an opportunity to be with longer proximate times with our family members, and it can help us strengthen our bonds with our family members. Fifth is ecological sustainability. Well, one of the primary benefits of this new normal, in fact, is our environment has become more less prone to pollution because in the absence of many vehicles from roads and decreased industrial activity, there has a positive impact in our climate change. For example, according to research, compared last year, the carbon monoxide and the nitrogen oxide emissions are significantly lowered compared last year. And lastly, there is positive changes in education. This new normal has positively impacted our education sector in unimaginable ways. Education institutions are now motivated to adapt to electronic communication and online education formats that can prove to be sustainable in the future. The future of education looks more interactive and inclusive as online formats reduce the course fees and make education affordable for a larger community of students. Well, this is really there are many positive things that you can do to maintain our sanity and normalcy through these adverse circumstances. Taking care of our health, keeping busy with our work and education can prevent us from brooding over the negatives of these current times, and as well as enhancing our future career prospects. Pursuing online courses, it can help us embark on a learning journey to upscale our existing skills from comfort of our home. And after all, no matter how serious and sad all of this, there are still upsides as well. And I just want to end this topic by reminding all of us to always look in the bright side of life and always make the best of what this crisis gives us. Again, this is Irish Ebuen, your Miss Philippines Earth from Diga City.
Wow, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, Miss Digos City. So I'm Eliana Marie Adwana, your Miss Philippines Earth Sinilaan Laguna. And I am actually a registered medical technologist by profession. And I have to really agree to everything that these girls have mentioned and discussed earlier. Like the proper ways of donning and removing the mask, by staying vigilant always, staying at home, maintaining the social distancing. And of course, we have to take note to also get vaccinated. And all those things may seem like little things, but to be honest, when you look through it, those are actually the biggest things that can help us to get protected from the virus. So, everything is just has been discussed already. So I think I'm just here to just summarize and to give applications and recommendations. So I actually prepared W questions that can be answered by Ys. You're gonna know why later. So for the first W question, we have here, what did the pandemic bring us? The pandemic has actually brought us a lot of things, like the work from home situation, the at-home study setup, and of course, who would ever forget the very innovative virtual pageants like Miss Philippines Earth. And of course, who would have ever thought that bringing our face mask, bringing our face shields is gonna be something that is very essential to this day. A lot of people have also become plantito and plantito during the pandemic. So, a lot of things. Although there was a long hiatus from the normal, we can also take note, and we cannot deny the fact that the pandemic had also brought us a decade worth of life realizations that brought us together and made us better people of the earth. So for the second W question, we have here, why is staying vigilant always important? And to answer that, it is because you can never see the enemy that we are fighting now. Because scientifically, this virus is something that cannot be seen with the naked eyes. So we have to stay vigilant always. And we cannot afford to get complacent, especially this time. And for the third question, why? What will we ever go back to normal? And to answer that question, well, from our group, it's a big yes. But not only an old normal, but a new and improved, a better normal. And one thing to achieve that is to, again, get vaccinated. And, as a medical professional, I can confidently say that vaccines are truly effective, and they can never be released in the market if it hadn't been approved by the governing bodies. So, if your body can speak to you right now, I'm sure that it's telling you the same thing as I am telling you, and that is to get vaccinated. And for the question, W, and who caused the problem? I hate to say this, but it could be you. It could be any one of us here. But one thing I know for certain is that you are also the solution. So for the last W question, I have here, who am I? And answered by Eliana Marie Aduana, your Miss Philippines Earth Siniloan Laguna, reminding you always to strictly follow the health protocols, the safety protocols, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. Take it away, Miss Alaminos.
So yes, I agree. So I remember when I was a kid, I was watching a movie called Meet the Robinsons. It was a retro-futuristic film centered on a child genius who travels to the future and meet his family. Despite the many plot holes, it had a certain charm. It was a heartwarming with a unique style at the time and setting inspired by science fiction in the 50s. Beyond the entire spectacle, however, was one central message. Keep moving forward, a fairly good message in my opinion, but I find myself struggling with. It's hard to move forward when you can't see anything ahead. We've been told constantly that this is the most important time of our lives. That pressure is fairly overwhelming. More than anything, however, our experience as individuals under protocols because of COVID-19 was one of the revelation, but our lives just don't stop there. Embracing new normal doesn't mean we can enjoy our lives we did in the past. We should not let this pandemic stop our world from revolving and living our life and planting trees. We should find smart ways to move forward and do not allow the virus be used as a turn to hatred, separation, and anxiety. If you are looking forward to coming out of lockdown and returning to the old normal, think again. The current situation is tragic, heartbreaking, and filled with fear and anxiety. However, there are teen silver linings there if you look for them. Before I end, I just want to let everyone know that this is our chance to reinvent and create a better world where we can all work, rest, and play in the new normal. We cannot rewrite the chapters of history already past, but we can learn from them, evolve, and adopt. Who knows? The new normal may even be a better normal. Certainly a different normal for all of us.
Thank you so much, ladies. Now, this transition from how life used to be to how it is now that COVID-19 happened has been a whole roller coaster ride. But Filipinos, as we are, have shown resilience since day one. It is a ray of hope seeing us create ways to cope up with the drastic changes brought forth by this pandemic. It wasn't an easy ride, and the humps and bumps that we've all been through for the past year proves it, from lockdowns to losing jobs and worse, even losing people's lives. Now, getting over this pandemic is our collective responsibility. Thus, we should do our part, setting aside our personal differences and joining hand in hand as one nation with one common goal of ending this pandemic. We'll get through this and stand strong by the end of the day, mask and face shield free. This is Miss CLAVER SURIGAO del Norte, Junibelle Dagasdas Lura, your host for tonight, and on behalf of Miss Philippines Earth Group 4, thank you so much for listening, and we hope that our message reaches everyone. Good evening, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the night. Stay safe, and God bless everyone.